You are cordially invited to the last dinner party and their debut album, Prelude to Ecstasy, released on Island Records.
Island?
Island.
I thought they were on Domino.
Well, this was released on Island Records. I was confused before when you were having
I was writing on. I
your little
genuinely.
soliloquy about Domino.
Soliloquy.
Well, it says here Universal Music.
Oh well,
I mean,
Wikipedia, the
I
whole
reckon a
bearer
lot
of
of people
truth.
will like it. So yeah, it's pretty universal, man.
Yeah, it's the first record
But
from this new band that seems to be all the rage at the
mm,
moment.
Hmm.
We're here to give definitive answers as to whether or not they are actually all the rage.
Well, I think, if I may,
Please.
there's been a lot of comparisons between this band and Wet Leg. Lots of them, and it's worth mentioning because there are lots of them. Direct or indirect, you know that they are, even when they're indirect. I will say that most of those are lazy and boring and reductive and pointless. But
Last ditch save there, Liam. Well done. Mate.
one of the one that does stick around is that they've both managed to not quite deliver on the singles that they gave before the album. I will say, though, in a different way. Whereas the Wet Leg album, if you want to go back and listen to that, I just feel like they just did not live up to the quality whatsoever of the singles. This album was more of a tone difference, where the singles were all kind of big, sort of indie pop hits, and the rest of the album is full of track 7 and 8s. After the middle of the album, you come back with a big one, then you go to a lull before the end of the album. That's what I'm getting.
disagreeing with you.
There's a couple that are up there with the singles, but there are a lot of very kind of slow, thoughtful, pensive pieces on this
Pensive,
album.
what a word.
There's too many of them for me.
I disagree with what you're saying, because the album that was given to us, without this coming across as negative, is very much what I thought I would be hearing when I listened to it. So,
I mean, if that's the part you're disagreeing with, that was more just an intro. I wasn't really expecting anything, but I do think that the track albums are different to the singles for sure. No. Carry on.
You were the last one speaking.
That was it. That was what you were disagreeing with.
I just wanted to make it known that I disagree with that statement.
Right. What about the rest of it?
What the rest of it? Callum, what about the rest of it?
Well, I'll start on a positive note. I think the vocals throughout this record are very, very nice indeed. I mean, that's not a surprise based on the singles. My favourite part on the whole record is a very niche moment. In the song Beautiful Boy, not Darling Boy, just Beautiful Boy, there's some woes at the end of the song.
Whoa.
Like Peter Andre, yes. And honest to God, they are absolutely stunning. I genuinely think it's such a... I don't know. It was just the highest height on this whole record.
So niche.
Well, it's not really anything, is it? It's just woes at the end of a song. But they were beautiful. It's like they're here. It's amazing. And that was absolutely beautiful. They've doubled down on the vibe that they're going for. And I think they've delivered on what they've set out to do. Mm-hmm. Whether or not it's to everyone's taste, that is subjective. I don't know how bothered I am about some of the songs. I do kind of agree with Liam in that regard. There are some of them that I really like. On Your Side, I genuinely adore that song.
Sorry to interrupt you there, Cal. Was that the single when we reviewed it where you said it's better than Nothing Matters?
Yep.
Because I will 100% now agree with you. And 100%. I'm sorry for being so defensive for Nothing Matters at the time.
Thank you. I genuinely believe this is their best song. I loved it when I first heard it. I love it now. I'll be very surprised if it's not in my end of year rankings. Sorry, I've got something in my eye.
Eyeball, mate.
It's
Oh,
it's beautiful. It genuinely is an absolutely amazing track. And if you haven't listened to this album, I don't know why you're listening to a review on it, especially by us. But go and listen to this song, and I guarantee you won't be disappointed. It's beautiful.
yeah. Same sort of points I think we're all going to make here, but yeah, there were moments on this that I don't really care for, and I can see myself skipping in the future. I think Beautiful Boy, to be honest with you, didn't really do much for me, and Portrait of a Dead Girl, again, whenever they came on upon multiple re-listens, I was like, I don't really care much for these ones. But yeah, On Your Side is definitely the highlight for me. The chorus on that is sublime, high point for sure. Nothing Matters is also still a slapper, and My Lady of Mercy has grown on me significantly since we covered it as a single, because I don't think I was that enthused by it at the time.
Yep.
But I love all the little time changes and everything that goes on. There's a lot of moments in this that seem very much like they've been around for longer. There's a lot of thought gone into a lot of the songs. It doesn't feel like a debut. It sounds like a band who've been at it a while. Is what I'm trying to get at. Sorry. But
I completely agree.
That is so good. So you completely agree with me. Yeah.
Yep. Serial producer James Ford is back at the helm.
Kellogg's on that.
Absolutely. Also plays drums on tracks 2, 4, 6, 7, and 10.
No, I think we've already talked about this, haven't we? Have we?
No.
Have we already talked about this?
No,
Sorry, Carl. Which
'cause,
tracks, by the way? Because I'm interested in this.
2, 4, 6, 7, and 10. I can't be bothered trying to.
Okay, that's fine. I can read.
All right. Okay.
Yeah. So, Burn Alive,
It's okay.
Feminine
No,
Urge,
we can all work it out.
Beautiful Boy. Okay. All right.
He's giving up on all
carry
the
on.
coming out.
Yeah. Absolutely. Thank you, Liam. Get out of jail free card there. What are your thoughts on the production, the drumming? Would you like to go to Shangri-La Studios, Yanni?
I would. Stop it, James. No, I
James.
would. Yeah, the production does sound great. All the little strings, I completely forgot about the strings on this, but I don't know why, because they're really a standout on this. I think that's partly the reason why it sounds more. To emphasize my point previously about them sound like they've been around longer. There's just like full orchestration going on at some points, and it just sounds massive. Liam, please talk to us, my child.
Yeah, so I mean, I've listened to you guys say this. It feels like I've heard you say it twice or a million times. But yeah, I feel like generally I just have completely different opinions on most of this, if I'm being honest, which is strange. On Your Side is kind of beautiful as it is, doesn't really hit that hard for me. There's just something about the whole album that just isn't clicking for me. Doesn't quite punch through in the way that I'd like it to. It feels quite surface level in a lot of respects. Some really great moments on the album. I'm going to say it's pronounced Jua. I think that's
Leaper?
Jua, maybe.
Did you ask, Yanni? Sorry.
I'm not just given the pronunciation of the song. You fucking idiot. That song, Into Sinner, is a very nice moment on the album. Very good. I actually quite like Portrait of a Dead Girl. It's one that stood out for me from the album tracks. But yeah, like I mentioned before. Oh, and sorry. My Lady of Mercy has also started to kind of
grow.
That's it. Thank you. Grow on me from the single. But like I mentioned earlier, I do feel like most of the non-singles are track 7 and 8. Do you know what I mean? They feel like they're all in the wrong places. There's not enough kind of. I don't feel like what I wanted from the singles, which was these kind of big hitters mostly, apart from On Your Side, which is fine as a track 7 or 8.
Biggest hitter.
No, as in like not quite as anthemic. No, that's also the wrong word.
That's the wrong word, isn't it? Yeah, you don't want to.
You know what I mean? Like punch, like
in your face,
like fast, upbeat,
fast. Yeah, fast. You know what I'm trying to say.
Obvious hits.
Yeah.
I'm gonna throw you a rope here, Liam, because you're digging a little bit.
I was still talking.
Oh, all right.
But I'm interrupted now. Crack on.
You had a few points to make in the group chat, which I think were better than the one you were trying to make just then. About I can't remember what the songs were called. Is it Buried Alive, Burning Alive? What's it called?
Burn Alive.
Burn Alive.
Burning Alive, and Caesar on a TV screen. You mentioned something about that.
because no one replied to me in the group chat. I thought I was just
No.
talking to the wind.
Well, this is what the podcast is for.
I disagree with you. That's why.
Okay. Yeah, no, Burn Alive and Caesar on a TV screen both seem to get. Well, I realised after the Caesar on a TV screen, that's not the chorus that I'm talking about. It's probably the pre-chorus if you were to try and give it a name. But it gets through the verse and into that part on both of those songs a bit too quick. Burn Alive especially, I feel like. I was like, oh, it's the chorus now. It didn't feel like there was any time to kind of build up into the song, and I feel like they could let it breathe a little bit. I mean, it's almost not even worth talking about, but it's just something that I picked up on that happened one song after the other, and now Calm's decided to bring up. But just a strange one.
Was there anything else you wanted to talk about, Liam?
Cam, did you want me to talk about the fact that it's hard to find the explicit version of Nothing Matters?
Well, you seemed.
No, I was just letting you know. But yeah, when you.
Yeah, every time I've put the album on, it's been the explicit version, so I don't know what the hell you were doing.
Yeah, same.
Well, I can't talk crap. I'm not talking for Tim Apple. We know what he's into.
Good.
But
alleged. I don't know what you're on about.
Well, the first time I found this album, and when I go through the Last Dinner Party's kind of artist profile, it shows the non-explicit version. I had to search for the album name, and then there were 2 versions shown there, and I had to just obviously click in each one to find out which one was the explicit one. And then I saved that version because the non-explicit version just misses out the word fuck rather than try and like change it. What's the alternative on
have
FIFA?
You, is it?
Carl? Have? I mean, I don't think that's great.
I'll have you. Yeah, it's not great.
It's not a great choice, but
and I will have you.
Surely love would just be. But maybe that doesn't actually. Anyway, by the by. My general thoughts on this album are. My general thoughts, just to round this off here, are maybe it's just not clicked for me, but I don't feel like, based on the singles that we got, they've really put their best foot forward, basically, and I don't feel like the rest of the album lives up to the hype, if you will. Not that they're not good, they're just not
great.
The style, they're not the style that I wanted. Yeah, it's different. Again, just to go back to Wet Leg, it's different. Where I don't think they were as good. These are still good, but just not what I wanted from them.
Sometimes when we review albums, I think, you know what, there's quite a bit of this that I like, and I'll go back to it. And then I don't really. I just listen to like the odd singles. I feel like right now I'm in a space where I do really enjoy the album, and I probably listen to most of it. But in reality, I can see myself in a couple of months' time only listening to a couple of singles. It feels like one of those already. So we'll rate this right now.
We will. If it was an album of On Your Side, it would be a 10 out of 10. But however, it isn't, so it's a 7 out of 10.
I'm going to give it a 6 out of 10 for the comments above.
And I'm going to go with a 7 also, which means it's a lovely full score of what, Liam? Is it ready? Are you ready for it?
7.
7.
Well, yeah, didn't we decide the full scores just round up? Won't we just decide that at some point?
Yeah.
Do you not have something to flash up?
Yeah, I thought you had a flasher upper.
Oh no, we don't have
Get
those.
your cock out.
Yeah, and honestly, I forgot to do them, so we don't have them at this point.
That's why we don't have it. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for listening to the review.
Just imagine
You know,
7 here. Just imagine.
Len Goodman's turning in his grave.
good night, everyone.
Goodbye.